Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to this workshop in which I will be giving you the steps to produce a radio show from home. My name is Silvia Bejar and I am the Multicultural Programming Coordinator here at CFRC. And first of all, I want to tell you that this workshop is possible thanks to CFRC and the generous support of the Community Radio Fund of Canada. And let's talk a bit about this topic, cooking your radio show from home. Well, due to the pandemic, since last year, we started working more from our places. And even in radio, something that many of us didn't expect, we adapted. And now it's kind of easy to produce our shows from our places. If you have never been in contact with radio or audio production, this may sound like something difficult or that you require a lot of equipment, but it actually is not that complicated. And the technical requirements are pretty manageable. So if you are familiarized with a computer, headphones, Zoom, this platform, that's a good starting point. The other technical things, you are going to learn them today. This will be presented like a recipe. First, I will give you the ingredients you need, and then the steps you need to follow to mix everything down and get a great radio show. So before we jump in, I just want to ask you to please mute your mics. That could be great, just to avoid any inconvenient sound. And once that's done, we are ready to jump in this topic. So let's jump in. Slide, please. So these are the ingredients: a computer, headphones, a microphone, a quiet room, access to an audio editing software, and access to a video call platform just in case you need it, just in case you record an interview with someone that is not physically with you, or maybe with your co-host and your co-host is not with you. So in that case, you will need a video call platform. Slide, please. So let's talk a bit more in detail about the ingredients. First of all, the computer. You don't need anything fancy, but it certainly has to have the capacity to install software on it. The programs I'm going to recommend you today work on both Mac and PC. The exact memory or the processor they need depend on the program you prefer to install. So I will be talking more about that in a bit as well. Now, the headphones. Headphones, my main recommendation is to avoid earbuds. For this purpose, for radio and for podcasting, we want to be able to concentrate on every single sound. So over-the-ear headphones are what you need. However, please don't pick one of those that have extra bass. We want the sound as clean as possible, the sound just as it is, so we can notice if something is wrong with it, or if it needs something to be fixed, or if they should be replaced or something. Sometimes the volume of different elements could be altered with this kind of extra bass headphones. And that's particularly important to take care of when we are working in radio. We want all our levels properly arranged. Now, the microphone. Nowadays, we can find thousands of options, many different microphones on Amazon, for example, different prices and with different features. So how can we identify the best option for us? Well, we certainly want to get the best possible quality out of a microphone, but we don't want to spend thousands of dollars on it. So our recommendation is a USB mic. USB mics are very easy to install. Some of them cost less than $70 and they do a pretty decent job. A USB mic as well allows you to record your voice directly in the audio software you are going to install, the ones that I'm going to recommend you later today. So in the case you are not ready yet to get a USB mic, you can also record your voice with the inbuilt mic of your earphones. The only thing to be aware of is the AirPods. These pretty beautiful and fancy AirPods, they usually cause some problems. Almost every time I have done an interview and my interviewee is wearing one of these AirPods, they cut out. So if you can avoid them, that would be great. Of course, when we have a guest, chances are that they don't have a super duper mic, and that's fine. Just recommend them to use common earphones. That would be very, very fine. Any questions until this point? Then please slide, next slide. Okay, then the USB microphone. let's talk about the feature that I recommend you to look up for. A headphone jack on the mic that is usually located at the bottom. That lets us monitor all the sounds that are being picked up by the mic, which means that we will be able to be sure our voice is sounding good and clear. We will also be able to notice if there's any other sound in the background that is disturbing or damaging our recording. For example, the noise of a fridge, for example. So we can notice it in our headphones, so we can move, for example. It's just like an example. Any questions about the microphones or this feature that I am recommending you today? Okay, now we can continue with our next slide. Okay, now a quiet room. Although there's no such place like a studio, yes, we all love our studios. If we find the correct room, the acoustics could be very, very good. So wherever you decide to record, just make sure that the room has furniture, preferably with fabric. A bed, a couch, curtains, rugs or carpets, pillows, and cushions are very good to have around. Books too. Books are also a very, very good option to have around. Some people find their closet a great option because it's small and it's full of fabric. So the acoustics, yes, it's amazing. However, if you're going to record an interview, for example, on Zoom, you don't want to record it from your closet, right? So it depends also on the kind of show you are producing. If you are alone, if you're recording only your voice, maybe you can be there in your closet. If not, maybe you should, I don't know, choose your living room or something like that. So what's not good at all? Well, empty rooms. Empty rooms, rooms with tiles like bathrooms and kitchens, metallic surfaces, and lots of glass. That's the kind of, these are the materials that we want to avoid. Questions about the quiet room and the characteristics of a quiet room that we need to choose? No? Yes. Okay. Slide, please. So let's say that you already have your headphones, the microphone, and you have decided the room you are going to record in. Now you're ready to install the software you want to work with, or if you prefer an online platform that you don't have to download to your computer, well, there's also an option that you could try. So why do you need to use one of these platforms or software? Well, because you will need not only to record your voice, but also you need to put all the pieces together afterwards. Add some music, insert an interview, edit out some details. It all depends on the kind of show you are preparing. So recording is the first step. If you're going to record only your voice or with someone who is there with you, physically with you, then you can record directly on any of the software on top. Audacity, Reaper, Audition, GarageBand, or Ali2. Audacity and Reaper. Okay, so first Audacity. Audacity has a free version and it's pretty good for the basics. Reaper is not free, but it's very affordable. It has a 60-day free trial and the license is only for $60. The minimum requirements for both of these programs, Audacity and Reaper, are also pretty basic. You only need in your computer 2 gigas of RAM and 1 gigahertz on your processor. However, this is the minimum. The more you have, the smoother the software will run. Then we have Audition and GarageBand. Adobe Audition is a more complete software. It has many useful plugins like denoisers, equalizers, compressors that will help you to fix any problem that you may have on your audios. It has a 15-day free trial and it usually has student discounts or packages. You can either pay it monthly or annually, and it's usually around $20 or $30 a month. GarageBand, well, although it was designed for musicians, it can also help you. It could be convenient if you already have a Mac computer because the software is already there, pre-installed, ready to use. These two programs, Audition and GarageBand, require a bit more RAM, 4 gigabytes, and a faster processor, more like a 2.6 or 3 gigahertz. And then we have Ali2. Ali2 is an online platform. Its main advantage is that you don't need to install anything on your computer. For recording and putting all the pieces together is great and it's very friendly to use, but it's not free. The basic account is $28 US dollars per month, and it has a 7-day free trial. There are no requirements for Alitu, considering that everything happens on the platform. With Alitu, it's more important to have a good internet connection, a very stable internet connection. So besides their price and their needs, it's important to consider that if you have never worked with editing software, you might want to have access to tutorials. On YouTube, there's plenty of them for Audacity and Audition. So that's another perk of Audacity and Audition. But for Reaper and GarageBand, you cannot find a lot of tutorials. And if you find them, they are usually more focused on how to create music, because these two software were created for musicians, especially for musicians. Now, if you are going to record with another person that is not with you, for example, an interview, then you need to record it over Zoom or any of the other similar platforms that were actually designed specifically for podcasting, which translates in a better sound quality. First of all, let's talk about Zoom. It's the most common one. Zoom has its free and a pro version available. It's still the most used because everyone knows it and it's the most stable. By default, Zoom records the whole conversation in a single track, but there is a way to set up a multi-track recording. You only need to go to the recording tab in the settings menu and tick the box that says record a separate file for each participant. If you have problems finding how to configure it, no worries. Here's a video that explains it. Can we share the video, please? Awesome. Now we have Zencastr and, Zencastr. Zencastr is the only one that has a free account option. It's good. You can either record only audio or audio and video, and it's extremely easy to use. By default, it delivers audio in separate tracks and in MP3, which is a better format than the M4A that Zoom delivers. Then we have Squadcast and Riverside. Their prices depend on the hours you need them per month. They have different packages. Riverside is the newest one, and it has been receiving very good reviews. So depending on what you are going to record, a conversation or just you, a monologue, decide what software and platform is better for you. I strongly suggest you to try their free trials and go with the one that you feel most comfortable with. And of course, the one that fits better to your wallet and your computer capacity. So any questions about the software and the platforms?
I'm just wondering, Sylvia, if you can tell us how you arrived at your favorite digital audio workstation. What is your favorite and why did you choose it?
My favorite one is Audition, and I like it because even if my audio is kind of damaged, I can fix it. The denoisers are pretty good. You can also use this like a pop filter. Even if you don't have a real or a physical pop filter, you can use a plugin that helps you with that. So it has like many perks of this kind. So I am not worried when I am recording outside, for example, outdoors, and something is damaging my audio, I can fix it. That's why I chose it.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so slide, please. Okay, so let's say that you already have the software, or you decided the platform or software that you're going to use, plus the microphone and the headphones and the quiet room. Now it's time to get down to work. Slide, please. Let's talk about the recording session. For this session, the recording session, there are some aspects you will need to be careful with. Besides using the proper platform, please double check all the possible noise sources that could interfere with your recording. This means the fridge, the air conditioner, which hopefully you already considered when you decided the place you are going to record in. Your phone must be put on silent. Keep your dog out of the room. Babies and children are better if they are not that close to your place as well, and close your windows to avoid loud street noise. And most of all, if you live right across the 401 or something like that, just make sure that you close your windows. However, we're in the middle of the pandemic, and I know that many of these noises will be unavoidable, and that's fine. Sometimes we will be able to re-record a specific part that was damaged because our dog barked or something like that. And sometimes you will be able to edit out some of these details, but sometimes you won't, and the noise will be there. And that's okay. It's understandable because these conditions, the pandemic conditions. I just want to insist on this little detail that could seem like very, very basic, but you cannot imagine how many times I have forgotten to put on silent my phone, or my guest or my interviewee had forgotten. So just make sure that everyone has taken care of these details before hitting the record button. Slide, please. Okay, now you are ready to record. These are the steps you need to follow to start recording on Audacity, Reaper, Alitu, or in any other platform. First of all, you need to set up your mic. Just plug it in and your computer should catch it immediately. If it's not catch it, well, you need to go to the control panel and adjust it. Then you open the program you installed, and depending on the program, you might need to create a new session. Audition asks for it. Audacity and Reaper, they don't. You just need to open the program and you can immediately start working on them. Then you need to put on your headphones, of course, and check again if there's any background noise that it's being picked up by your microphone. Sometimes with our ears, without headphones, we can notice some noises, but with our microphone, everything is amplified. So it's good to just double check once you just have you have your headphones on. Then you need to run a test to be sure that your level, the volume of your voice, is fine. And then you can hit the record button. If you're working on Alitu, this online platform, you don't have to worry about this because the platform fixes the levels for you. Now, at this point, you might be unsure what's a good level. What do I mean by good level on your voice? So that's why I got this video. I want to share with you this video that explains what's a good level in your voice when you are recording. Can we share the video, please? Awesome. That's a link to the video. Slide, please. Now, what if you're recording on Zoom or any of these video call platforms? It's even easier, actually. You need to set up your mic and open the platform. And just in case you have never set up a Zoom session, this is a quick review. Once you open the platform, once you open Zoom, you can either schedule a future session, open a new meeting immediately, or join a meeting you were invited to. You need to choose the option that works best for you. In the end, any of them will lead you to this window we are in right now, and we call it session or meeting. Once you start a new meeting, in the bottom left corner, you will see a small arrow in the Join Audio button. Click on it and make sure your USB mic is enabled. Wait for your guest. And once they connect and you are sure there's no significant noise coming out from their side, that their mic is working properly, and you ask them to mute their cell phones, you can start recording. The recording button, by the way, you can find it in the menu bar at the bottom of the this Zoom window, okay? You don't need to watch the levels either here on Zoom because Zoom controls them. Now, slide, please. Okay, let's say that you already recorded and that you have all the audios you need for your episode with you. Now it's time to put all the pieces together in the editing software. It doesn't matter in which one you are working, they all function, they all work in a very similar way. They have the same elements. So that's why I prepared this video that shows you the basics of these digital audio workstations. That actually is a fancy name of this editing software. So this is how a digital audio workstation looks like. Digital audio workstation is the fancy name of this editing software. They are also called DAWs. They work in a very similar way. The layout may change, but in general, they process everything in the same way. So if you have never been in contact with one of these programs, here are the generals. They work with a timeline. As you can see, here is a timeline indicated, 20 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 minute, and you can zoom in and zoom out, so you can work more in detail with every part of your file or your audio or your program. They use tracks or channels to accommodate your audios. Here you can insert everything you're going to work with. For example, in this first track, I have my interview and I have a little bit of my voice. In this second track, I have my songs and my intro, and so on. The audios are represented with sound waves, and depending on the size of them, you can have an idea if they are too loud or if they are too low or if they are at a good spot, like this one, for example, the purple one. That's a nice size for my sound wave. This is a very, very low one. If your audio is like this, bring it up. Or if they are like this means that it's broken. So no, you should keep them with this size. This is a very healthy sound wave. This red line that you see here indicates what part of the audio is being played. Let me show you. Now, when you are working with multiple audios, like voice and interviews and songs, for example, you will use what we call a multi-track session. This actually is a multi-track session, which means that you have more than one rack or more than one shelf to insert your audios and to organize them. These kind of programs also have a sound picker that indicates the level or the volume of the audio you are playing. Try to keep all the levels below the 0 point, which is the red final spot. All the audios, songs, interviews, monologues, everything that you include in your program must be at a similar level, preferably around -3. Let me show you the sound picker. You don't want your sound picker to reach the 0 point, because that means that your audio is broken. You will also find a gain knob, which will help you to bring the volume up or down depending on what you need. Here, you see the -16, -3, or +4, +7, whatever. That will help you to manage the volume of the whole track. And you will also find a volume envelope, which is this yellow line that you see here. If you need to bring up the volume or bring down the volume of a specific part of an audio, for example, let's say that this part of this sound wave is too loud, you can put these points in here and bring them up or bring them down in this case, which means that this specific part will sound lower than the other part of the audio. So that's an example of what you can do with the envelope. You can also bring the volume up or down of this whole audio with this envelope, but I don't recommend you. I recommend you to use the knob for that purpose. You will also find two buttons, the mute and the solo. This is very helpful when you want to work with only one track and you don't want the other audios to disturb you. Solo and mute. And finally, maybe this is the most important part, these programs, of course, have a rendering or export command, export, which means that they consolidate all the audios that you have been working with and that you already organized and everything. They consolidate them into one big audio, your final program, for example. So these are the generals. All the softwares work in a very similar way. The layout may change, maybe one command is named in a different way, but they all have sound waves and tracks and sound pickers and a timeline. These are the basics that you need to know before using any of these digital audio workstations. Okay, so that's the video. Maybe we can also share the YouTube link to this video if you want to watch it again later. We also have it in YouTube, on YouTube. And slide, please, afterwards. Okay, we're almost there, putting all the pieces together. So in the video, we were able to watch the general functions of this kind of software. Now, these are the steps you need to follow to do the editing. First of all, open the editing software or the platform. Insert all the audio tracks, the voice, your voice, the songs, maybe any clip that you want to insert, everything that you need to include in your episode. Place them in the order you'll need them to appear. Adjust their volumes. All of them should be equally loud. And at the end, you need to export it in MP3, not under 128 kbps. Okay, that's the minimum quality that it's pretty decent. 128 kbps and MP3. If you like a more complete tutorial or a training for a specific software, I found some videos on YouTube for Audacity and Reaper. These two programs, because they are the ones that we have installed in our studios, in CFRC studios. You can also always schedule a training session with us. So here are the links. You can see it in the chat to these Audacity and Reaper tutorials on YouTube.
Added.
Okay, so now slide, please. Exactly. Once you put all the pieces together and you have exported your final audio, check that everything is correct before sending it. What do I mean by correct? Okay, so first of all, that all the audios, all the tracks are at a similar level, equally loud. The music, the voices, everything. Also check that every audio was placed correctly and that there are no gaps between segments. Check that the background music is not louder than the voice. This is a very common mistake. Just check it out. The background music must stay in the background. And just make sure that it has the appropriate length, 29 minutes for a half an hour radio slot, 59 minutes for a 1 hour radio show, and 118 minutes for a 2-hour radio slot. Then you just need to submit it to our programming coordinator, our dear Alex. Any questions? I know that maybe at the beginning, this could seem like something difficult or that it will take you hours to do. However, it's a matter of practice and getting used to it. You will see that for your third or fourth episode, you will feel more comfortable with the whole thing and it will take you less time to finish it. So slide, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just one quick question. You said 29 minutes for half hour and how much for a full hour?
Minutes. 59.
59. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, now yes, slide, please. Okay, so that was the whole thing. Remember that CFRC is a community radio station. Therefore, we are always welcoming volunteers, students, professors, or people, of course, living in Kingston who want to create original content for our audience. As a multicultural programming coordinator, I am very happy to receive proposals from our fellows who want to play music in different languages or talk about other cultures. Alex Fernandez, who is unfortunately not with us today, she's our programming coordinator and the news coordinator as well, and she's always welcoming volunteers. Chance is our music coordinator. Chance, do you want to add something today? Do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hello. I'm also always taking music shows and music submissions. And I love working with people on those. So anytime anyone wants to reach out, it's just music@cfrc.ca.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chance. And Dinah, of course, Dinah is our manager. Dinah, do you want to add something today?
Thank you so much. Sylvia, this has been such a great presentation too. Thank you very much for doing this for all of us. Yes, CFRC has so many wonderful volunteers on our airwaves programming every single week, and we're always inviting more. And there are great opportunities for training at the station. Sylvia's presentation here is helping volunteers to learn how to do recording at home, but we can also teach people how to do recording right in our studios, and some of that learning you can transport home as well. So this is exceptional opportunity. So please do reach out to programs@cfrc.ca, our programming at cfrc.ca, to our programming coordinator about volunteering. You can also sign up via our website at cfrc.ca. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Dinah. And you can always reach out if you want to create, for example, a podcast too, because CFRC has its podcasting platform too. And we can share the link right now to this platform, podcast.cfrc.ca. If you want to check it out, it could be very, very good for you as well. Any questions or any more comments? Now is the time. No? Okay, so thank you so much. And a slide, please. Great. So this workshop was possible thanks to CFRC and the Community Radio Fund of Canada. My name is Silvia Becher, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Yay.
Yeah, great, thanks. I think this is something that a lot of young people who are not up at university yet should be watching this. So I'm glad to hear that it's going to be available after tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Douglas, for joining us.